has taken over. Let's go. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money. It's Ferrall. Coast to coast. It's a pain-free Friday for us, doling out minutes on the mahogany, waxing it up, 100, 200, the bad, see the broken, the bad, apple with a bad attitude. We are live in New York City, the Big Apple. Ooh. People dressed in plastic bags, directing traffic, some kind of fashion shake it up, stupid, along with the purveyor of all things that are possible, Carver High this afternoon. Coming off of his glorious predictions last night of Alonso being the hero and the Falcons win. Joining him, Mafia running it along with Lou Gambio Father at C2C on this Friday. The rundown Morencia double shot from Vancouver this very hour. Plus, it's me, Gino B. Gino Bacola from the Daily Racing Forum joins us in this first hour. Second hour, the coach, Terry Bowden, to break down college football for Friday and Saturday, all day, all night. Plus, Dr. Shivago, Dr. David Chow, who was sitting at Petco the other night, front row. You saw him, Carver High, sitting right there behind home plate, soaking it all in the sweep of the Braves. How about you last night with the Pete Alonso ring the bell special, the ninth inning bomb on a changeup? A 3-run shot. And the Mets eliminate the Brewers just like they oughta. Milwaukee doesn't matter, and it never will. Bye-bye, Brewtown. How do you like them apples? It's the Mets and Phillies in the divisional series, Carver High. Great call by you. And sprinkling on a little, your boy, you had a tutty last night. With the Falcons, your guy, and then
Mooney had a tutty. Mooney had the touchdown last night, and I always say whoever I play for first touchdown, you should play them anytime as well. So Evans got home there. I might have on my own before the game had a little something with London as well. So we had a pretty good night with the football. And listen, the baseball game was it was a tight elimination game, scoreless. I got to tell you, the first thing that in that game that caught my eye was I was stunned the Brewers took Myers out after 6 innings and 62 pitches. He was just blowing through the Mets, Scotty. But the guys they brought in did a hell of a job. They got the ball in the hands of their best guy in the pen, which is Williams, and you just couldn't get it done. And we've seen so many guys like this in the past. They're great regular season closers. They finally get a taste to do it on the big stage, and things don't go well. I told you yesterday I thought Pete needed a moment. If he had a chance, he had to come through. And sure enough, Alonso might have been a $100 million home run for him last night, Scotty. Might have been back with the Mets.
Well, I mean, he's going to make that money easily in free agency in November. Obviously, Cohen hasn't wanted to give him a deal. He's going to get several offers, it would appear to me, in free agency. And that was his resume right there, that home run, a 3-run shot, only guy to do it in the postseason in the 9th inning or later with a team down 2 runs, a 3-run shot to win the game. Winker got on base, stole second, got around on a Marte single, and they won the game 4-2. It was unbelievable. I mean, absolutely unbelievable game. Screw the Brewers.
Did you like it? How about the spike of the helmet by the Wink man when he crossed home plate, getting up and smashing the helmet down? Dude, relax. He was all fired up to beat his old team last night. So 4-2 Mets, and Peterson came on in the 9th and did a very nice job as well. We said that yesterday, too, that he was available out of the pen, and that maybe he might have to get some big outs for the Mets, and he sure enough did. And we get what we want, right? Mets, Phillies, first time they've ever met in the playoffs. We've got Dodgers, Padres, Tigers and Guardians, and Yankees, Royals all starting tomorrow. 4-game ones, division series of the MLB playoffs. I know we got a lot of college football tomorrow too, and we got a lot of NFL on Sunday. But that's going to be fun with 4 baseball games tomorrow, 4 game ones in the playoffs.
I'm horny, baby. Waiting for the action. It's just dripping. It's evolving rapidly. Rocktober, for Halloween, it's always jumping when the fall foliage, the fall foliage. We got the fall classic right around the corner doing push-ups. We got college football, pro football, pain day. It's all happening. Hockey started today in the Czech Republic. The Devils with a big lead early through 2 periods. Going to the third here. We're underway 3-0 Carver High.
Yes, over in Prague, in the Czech Republic, 3-0 as you've got Nosin, Kovacevic, and Hischier scoring the 3 goals for the Devils. They have a 3-0 lead. First game, of course, with Sheldon Keefe behind the bench, who came over for, of course, from Toronto. And also the first game of the second tenure in Buffalo for Lindy Ruff, right? As the Sabres brought him back to coach the team.
Bread? Honestly, this guy's like recycled bottled water. They had an NBA game today as well, if you can believe it. Did you see that today?
Did they?
Yeah, Boston beat
Denver.
Is that
the Abu Dhabi game? They were playing the preseason game over in Abu Dhabi, right? They have all. Actually, the Lakers play tonight as well. Lakers T-Wolves at 10:30 tonight. Preseason NBA. Here we go. Didn't they just start practicing like 2 days ago? 3 days ago? They just started practicing?
That game tonight is in Palm Springs. As you know, I played in the Bob Hope Mafia Classic.
Wow, how about that? So listen, you have a little fun. J.J. Redick coaching his first game, right? I saw him give some reporting.
I shot a 76 in the Hope in the Pro-Am. I had it all going that day.
You did. So we have all of that to do. We have the NFL for this week. You mentioned already, Falcons beat the Bucs in overtime last night to start week number 5. Hell of a game. That's I said to you yesterday. Those are the games we want. 36-30, 66 points scored. I mean, no doubt about it, over. You got a guy throwing for 400, 500, was it? What did Cousins throw for? 500? 509. 509 for Cousins last night. They get the job done. Great game, and the Falcons needed it. They're 3-2 now, even with the Bucs, also 3-2 in the South. And we'll get into all of this weekend's games, including the big one, Sunday night, Cowboys and Steelers under the lights on primetime. Can't wait for that either.
Oh, the humanity of the Steelers and Cowboys on a Sunday nighter in the place the Steelers play. That's going to be fantastic. I gave the Ferrall Duggets to my buddy's kid. I told him to behave and not misrepresent me at the Steeler game in those seats. But it's going to be a good one. I wish I could go, but it's just blowing through money. Flying around, going to games. I'll tell you what I want to go to now is the bank. I wouldn't mind going Saturday or Sunday down the turnpike to the bank and see the Mets and Phillies Saturday and Sunday. How good is that 90 minutes away? I mean, that's nothing for that kind of playoff activity.
It really isn't, as Zach Wheeler, of course, will be on the mound for the Phillies in game number 1. Mets getting their first off day in a while today. They are not going to be at the workout at Citizens Bank, nor should they. I mean, they've only gone from what they do, Milwaukee to Atlanta to Milwaukee, now to Philly. They've been going pretty full throttle, so a much-needed rest for the Mets as they get ready for game 1 tomorrow in Philadelphia. So we're pretty set. We got, listen, get a little rest, have a couple beers, you'll be good to go. So we'll do all the baseball numbers today, all the football for Sunday, all the college for tomorrow. We got college games tonight, Syracuse and UNLV, Oregon, Michigan State, TCU, Houston. So we have a bunch of college football as well that we're going to.
Only 2 guys have ever done what Cousins did last night, Cousins and Brady. Brady did it against the Falcons in the Super Bowl. Throw for over 460, 4 tutties, 68% or higher completion percentage. All of that happened last night for Cousins. He always wins big regular season games and puts up big stats, but he never wins big playoff games or postseason games.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Sunday Night Football, not really much of a matchup here, and the Bills looked so good up until this point, and, to me, it's probably like a one-off for them.
The basic thing you have to do against the Ravens, force them to pass and try to use their weapons downfield, get them behind, because if you can do that, then it takes Derrick Henry a little bit out of the game. But if you get them with momentum coming out of the gate, getting a long touchdown run of the first play.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Sports Rage weeknights at 10 along all of our outlets, TV stations, streaming networks, radio stations, SiriusXM channel 159. You catch Morency with a double shot right here on Coast to Coast every day from Vancouver. Cousins has done it 3 times with 3 different teams, thrown for more than 450 yards. You heard me maybe before. Only he and Brady have done over 460, 4 tutties, and over 68% completion. Brady did it against the Falcons in the Super Bowl. They had a 4% chance to win that game when he threw the pick with 1:44 left. They still won it. They had a 1% chance against the Eagles, and they still won it. It really is unbelievable. Not only that, they leapfrogged the Buccaneers last night with that win. You and I got burned on that game. They were up 30-27. They didn't close it out, the Bucs.
No, you know what? And once again, we lose in overtime. I was on the Los Angeles Rams, Scott, plus 5, the first Sunday night game of the year. And what happens? It goes to overtime. The Lions win by 6. Last night we're on the Bucs plus 3, goes to overtime, and the Falcons win by 6. Unbelievable stuff from Kirk Cousins as the game went on. If you look at the Atlanta Falcon game, guys, and we did hit the teaser last night with the Buccaneers to the over, every Falcon game is close. Against your Steelers in week 1, it was super close. The Chief game came down to them going for it on 4th down. They didn't get it. The Saint game, they won by 2 points on a last-second field goal. The Falcon games are just all super. The Eagle game was super close as well. So these Falcon games, great to move forward. We sort of know they're going to play in close games. So I think they're a good teaser play moving forward. But, yeah, Kirk Cousins last night, over 509. We were on live during the game last night, Scott, and I told people at the half, he was already at 253 passing yards at the half. The in-game number was 393 yards at the half. And I said, this is pretty crazy. If you would have told me before the game, I'm going to bet money right now that Kirk Cousins is going to throw over 400 yards, essentially. But here we are, and he ended up with 509 when it was all said and done. Awesome stuff. Fun game.
How clutch is that coup? No time left. They got the ball with 14 seconds. They threw a play, spiked it with 1 second left. He comes in and jacks the field goal, 52 yards. And he had already had one blocked, but he came through when it mattered most, just like last week, the 58-yarder.
Yeah, Koo missed 2 kicks earlier in the game in a row. Only one of them counted. He got a mulligan due to the penalty, and then he came through. So he has been clutch for them late in these football games once again. And, we're seeing kickers such a massive part of the National Football League right now in being expected to hit from 55 plus, from 58, from 52 with the game on the line. It used to be like 45. Now that cutoff line is like 52, 55. The Falcons are kind of symbolic of the NFL, though, aren't they? You don't really know. I mean, dude, when they scored on their first possession of the game, it was their first offensive touchdown in 17 offensive possessions, right? Their offense hadn't done anything, but maybe they just needed time to make Kirk Cousins to get more comfortable, right? But they also got stuffed earlier, with a couple of minutes left in the game. It was just one of those wild games. But you're right, Tampa, you really let them off the hook if you're the Buccaneers. That's a division game that you might look back and really regret losing.
Yeah, without a doubt. So as we head into Sunday's action around Pain Day, it starts in London in the morning. How do you think the Jets will do against the Vikings?
I've said this a couple of times this week, Scott. It's like a troubled marriage or a relationship that thinks they're going to fix things by going on vacation. Inevitably, the vacation makes things worse. So the Jets, Scott, are the troubled relationship. Oh, we're going to London. That'll make things better. Will it? Really? You know what I mean? You've got Salah, Hackett, Rodgers all on the same plane together. Is the offense suddenly going to get better in London? Just in a weird spot. Anytime, guys, we get these travel games, right? When teams are going somewhere, I like the more functional team. I know it sounds really stupid, like, oh, you take the better team, but it really is true. The teams with the better records do really well in these London and these Europe games just because they have less problems, right? Like, they're not trying to figure things out. To them, it really is just a trip. Like, if you're the Vikings, you're in London. You can walk around, take some pictures right now. You're 4-0. Everything is great. You can't wait for the game. If you're the Jets, what are you guys doing? Like, going over plays on a napkin on the plane, Scott? What do you want to do, Mr. Rogers? Right? You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any faith in this Jet operation right now, Scott. Give me the Vikings, baby.
He's so old. Mister, who do you like in the game between the Ravens and Bengals in the jungle?
That's an interesting one. I'm going to go with the Bengals here. I sort of think it's a week-to-week league, and the Bengals were down for a couple of weeks, and Baltimore suddenly get to come off the big win. Leads me into Cincinnati here. Not one of my best bets. One of the best bets that I do like, Scott, actually, are your Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday Night Football. I think this is a great spot for the Steelers. The Cowboys, multiple injuries. Michael Parsons, Lawrence, talking about big-time production on the defensive line here. So football is won and lost in the trenches. Bets are won and lost in the trenches, guys. Props are won with your wide receivers and the flash and stuff like that, but games are won because of the O-lines and the D-lines. And quite frankly, I don't think Dallas are going to be able to get any pressure on Fields. And I think we've seen that you're able to run the ball on the Dallas Cowboys. So I think the Steelers' offense will look pretty good against the Cowboys. And conversely, I don't think the Cowboys' offensive line is going to be able to deal with T.J. Watt and company. I like the Steelers a lot on Sunday night.
And what about your Bills in Houston?
Well, let's hope they bounce back. They should bounce back. Speaking of the Jets, they got the Jets around the corner on a Thursday nighter, and they're going to Seattle in a couple of weeks. So this is sort of the beef of the Bills' schedule right now. They got blown out in embarrassing fashion. I expect them to show some character, Scott, and bounce back and beat the Texans.
We'll talk to Morency about his Dodgers against the Padres starting at the Ravine in Lipstick City tomorrow and Sunday, and his Michigan Wolverines as they go to Husky Stadium in Seattle to take on Washington for college games Saturday.
anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Sunday Night Football, not really much of a matchup here. And the Bills looked so good up until this point. And, to me, it's probably like a one-off for them.
The basic thing you have to do against the Ravens, force them to pass and try to use their weapons downfield, get them behind. Because if you can do that, then it takes Derrick Henry a little bit out of the game. But if you get them with momentum coming out of the gate, getting a long touchdown run to the first play.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
We're with Morency in Vancouver, and your Dodgers are starting. It's the late game at Chavez Ravine tomorrow night, 8:38 West, 5:38. Sun will still be out. Yamamoto has replaced Flaherty against Cease in that game versus the Padres. How do you think she's going to go this series? I think it's going to be great.
A little bit of concern about Yamamoto. Listen, the guy's awesome. But San Diego have seen his stuff, not once but twice, if we recall. It's a kind of, a little bit of comes full circle here. Yamamoto made his Dodger debut against San Diego in Korea this year when they opened up the Major League Baseball season in Korea, and San Diego lit him up. So that was his Major League Baseball debut. He got hit hard, and then they came to America, and he settled down before he got hurt. And then he pitched against San Diego again, and he did give up 3 runs. So San Diego have hit him. They've seen him twice. I'm just saying it's a little bit of a concern that San Diego have seen this dude twice, and they hit him both times they saw him. So there's not an element of surprise. There's not an element of intimidation that, oh, man, we've never seen this guy. He's really good. But you got him in the first game of his career with the Dodgers. And he didn't get lit up in the last game. He gave up 3 runs. So I'm a little bit curious to see how Yamamoto does. They paid him a lot of money. I don't think they anticipated that he would have to be, the guy in game 1 here. But here he is. And he got Flaherty. The thought process is the Yamamoto coming off the injury needs a longer rest. He hasn't been pitching on 4 days rest, Scott, down the stretch in the regular season. He's been pitching on 5 days rest. So he's only pitching once in the series. Maybe they can use him for relief. I don't know what their plan is. But their thought was that Flaherty could actually go in game 2 and game 5 if needed. Right? Because the game 5 will be Friday night if it happens. So he would pitch on Sunday, and then he would pitch on Friday if it goes 5. But hell of a series, Scott. I'm not dismissing San Diego. I've been telling people they're the dark horse to bet on when they were 18-1 2 months ago. So I'm not dismissing them. But the Dodgers, Scott, lost to San Diego the last time they played in the playoffs. There's a little bit of an extra edge right now. The Dodgers aren't going to get caught this time. And the fact is they did play last week, guys, right? First place was on the line, right? It was a 3-game series. They were up by 3. San Diego won the first game, cut it to 2, and the Dodgers won the next 2 games. So it's not like, I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, San Diego is so hot right now. Well, they played last weekend, and the Dodgers beat them 2-3. So I don't think the Dodgers are intimidated here. Both teams, that's what I love about this, Scott. Players on both teams are saying they wanted this. Teoscar Hernandez said, I wanted to play San Diego because the energy is amazing. And, they're our rivals. Let's do this. Machado said, we all wanted this. We all knew it was going to happen. Let's go. It's going to be an epic series, Scott. And the Mets and Phillies going to be badass too, man.
How do you think the Mets will do against the Phillies?
I can't dismiss this Mets team, Scott. I think the Phillies are the team to beat. I think they're the rightful favorites, but I think they're too heavily favorites, to be honest. In baseball, anything can happen, guys. And the Mets, they have that little miracle Met thing going with them right now. They have momentum. Very similar, Scott, and everybody, to San Diego and L.A., right? Close proximity as far as the cities are concerned. Division rivals. Fan bases don't like each other. Sort of a little brother, big brother thing going on with both of them, right? So they're both very, very similar in that way. But this Mets team, man, they never die. They never quit. So I will say this. I think there's going to be a lot of runs scored in the Mets games. I never say that. Oh, blanket coverage, take the overs in a series or whatnot. But come on, bro. Mets and Phillies, there's going to be some high-scoring games coming up over the next couple of days.
Michigan tomorrow night at 7:30 at Husky Stadium in Seattle against Washington. The Huskies are favored by 1.5. It's on NBC. Who do you like?
It was 3, and everybody thought it was too high, and it's been crushed all week, so down to 1.5 right now. It's obviously a revenge spot for Washington, but they're not the same Huskies team as last year. I think Michigan grind out another ugly Michigan-style win. 2017 Michigan wins outright.
Who do you like in the Missouri A&M game at Kyle Field? A&M's laying 2 and a hook.
Man, you asked me what the hardest game on the board. God, that's a tough one, isn't it? Like, A&M haven't lost since the Notre Dame game, but every time A&M play in a big game, they lose. So,
take Missouri.
It's so tough. Mike Knox telling me A&M knows going to win.
Have a great weekend, Frenchie.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Sunday Night Football, not really much of a matchup here. And the Bills looked so good up until this point. And, to me, it's probably like a one-off for them.
The basic thing you have to do against the Ravens, force them to pass and try to use their weapons downfield, get them behind. Because if you can do that, then it takes Derrick Henry a little bit out of the game. But if you get them with momentum coming out of the gate, getting a long touchdown run to the first play.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
let's hit this Falcon game last night that you nailed, Carver High. Good pick by you. Great prop player bets that you made as well. I said today on social media, what is next with this guy, Carver High? It's like every day when they tune in here, all they do is make fat stacks. God bless you.
Yeah, hopefully we can keep that going throughout the weekend because last night was pretty good to us, 36-30. The Falcons beat the Bucs in overtime. I gotta tell you, Sky, the Bucs kind of choked this game away. They had opportunities here to go up. They got a chance to extend with that field goal to go 33-27. They got pushed back. You had Cousins throw them that pick to David at the end of the game. They weren't able to capitalize off of that. They let the Falcons come back. Koo kicks a 52-yard field goal to send it to overtime. Now, in the overtime, Falcons get the ball first, of course. If you score a touchdown, it is over. Cousins hits Kaderil Hodge, who was only in the game because Drake London, who had a monster night himself, got hurt on the previous play. So Hodge comes in, Scotty, and he makes the play of the game on Westwood One Sports.
Pistol formation, motion man Mooney, Robinson in the backfield. The throw from Cousins, it's caught at the 40, moving upfield. Hodge, he could go! 10-5, touchdown! That is a winner for the Atlanta Falcons! 45 yards, and it's over.
There you go. Don't call me Merrill Hodge with the winning touchdown. What a game. What a finish. They had no business winning that game. The Bucs blew it. You're right. That was it. They blew it. You're up 30-27 with a minute left. You can't close the deal. Their possession with a minute 44 left was pathetic.
Awful. Absolutely awful. Disgraceful, honestly, that they didn't at the minimum make them have to go get a touchdown with under a minute to go. At the minimum, they should have been able to do that. Kirk Cousins, an insane night. 42 for 58. 509 yards, 4 tutties, first player to throw for 450 yards or more with 3 different teams. That's right. He's done that Washington, Minnesota, and now Atlanta. Here he is afterwards talking about the winning play.
What an unbelievable play. When we won the toss, or when we kicked the field goal to go to overtime, the narrative on the sideline was, we score a touchdown, game over. And I thought, well, yeah, but you guys are acting like it's easy to go down and score a touchdown. And with the way Red did it, I guess they were right. So that was fun.
There you go. It's always fun when you win in overtime.
Always fun when you win in overtime. So a nice, fun start to week number 5 in the NFL. All primetime games should be like that. Always having lots of fun. And we had, like you said earlier, some nice hits. Mooney had 2 touchdowns. We had him. Evans didn't get the first, but he did get a touchdown in the game. So nice job all around with all of that. All right, let's start to dive into, because we got a lot of games on Sunday that we have to get to. Why don't we start in the AFC North? And no, not the Steelers. I'll save them for later, Scotty, as they get ready to take on the Cowboys. But how about the Ravens and the Bengals getting together in Cincinnati? Ravens, of course, have got themselves back to 2-2 after an 0-2 start. Bengals started 0-3. And they got their first win last week against the Carolina Panthers. Here is Lamar Jackson. Yesterday we played a great clip about him talking about people not caring about people's bets. Stop going to Lamar if you're not hitting your parlays. That's not his problem. Today he's talking more about the game, the Raven offense humming on all cylinders right now. Henry rushing the ball, him throwing and running. Here's Lamar.
Man, he's just playing chess and not checkers out there on that field. And that's basically what it is with our offense, because any given game, depending on what the defense giving us, okay, they stopping the run. So now we just air it out. They stopping the pass. They go on cover 2, cover 4 quarters and stuff like that. We running the ball. So it's like, it's hard to defend us. That's what I believe.
That may be one of the greatest hairdos ever right there. I mean, honestly, I can't even think about what he's saying. Look, I think they're better than the Bengals. I think they found their groove. I thought they looked really good in Dallas. I think they're going to go there and win that game. I think they can beat the Bengals. To me, the Bengals are Chase. That's it. I'm not worried about them. To be honest, they beat the Panthers. Let's calm down here. Everyone got all excited last week because they beat Carolina. They're awful. Who can't beat them? Honestly. I think the Ravens running game right now is a problem for Cincinnati. And then if they start throwing the ball, forget about it.
Ravens are the road favorite here on Sunday. Ravens -2.5. Total now at 48.5. I do think we will see some points in this game, Scotty. Both of these teams have gone over 3 of their 4 games. We showed you that a couple days ago here on Coast to Coast. I think that we'll get some points between the Ravens and the Bengals.
Let's go. I mean, the more the merrier. I like games that go over, that are wild, that are exciting, lots of tutties, lots of props that you can hit, lots of guys scoring your tutty picks. I mean, that's where it's at. These low-scoring, under 36 games suck.
They do suck. Nobody likes 13-10 football, unless it's like a blizzard outside.
Scored again, the icer.
Wow.
That one's for you,
4-1.
Lindy.
Who got that one for you?
Welcome
4-1
back,
Devils.
Cotter with the goal.
Well, welcome back, Cotter. The goal. Your boy, that's the great Paul Cotter getting involved for the Devils, making it 4-1 there in Prague, as they're going to play tomorrow also to start the NHL season. All right, next. This game probably won't be as high scoring as the Ravens and the Bengals, and that is our first London game of the year. That's right. The Jets and the Vikings heading across the pond. They are already there. Couple of things we got for you in this one. First, Sam Darnold facing his old team. Now, he's faced the Jets before, Scotty, but this time he's coming in with a 4-0 Viking team. He has been outstanding. He's thrown 1 billion touchdown passes, flying up the MVP board. So, your time as a Jet takes the high road when he's asked about New York.
Do you feel the Jets failed you in any way?
No, I think, I had a lot of opportunities in New York, and I always felt like I could have played better there.
Oh, there you have it. Like, that's, get right out of that problem right there. It's my fault. I didn't play well. Boom. That's the end of it.
And he's bounced around, obviously, Carolina, San Francisco, and now back now in Minnesota. So he's had a few stops. As I always say to you, some of these guys that get picked very high in the draft, it's usually not them. It's the environment that they're put in. And I would classify what he had as with the Jets, with Adam Gase, etc., as that kind of environment. I think that's what you could say. But
how awful was that guy? Do you remember that guy with his wigged out eyes?
Oh, I remember. I certainly do. Robert Saleh, of course, has been the guy since then. This is him this morning over in London. Some of the London reporters were asking him about if there's pressure to win in New York. What kind of question is that?
Pressure in New York? You can be an expansion team and still have the same amount of pressure. It doesn't matter. You got to win. It's New York. Expectation is to win. When you win, you're going to the Super Bowl. When you lose, fire everybody. And that's the world we live in. That's the world we embrace. We attack each week as a new week, which every week comes with the extremest amount of pressure. But we're made for it. We're built for it. So.
Joe Namath ain't coming through that door. I mean, they have literally been there once. That's it.
They have been there once. That's it. Look, he's right. It's either you either win or you suck. And guess what? He's never won. He's never done anything. The Vikings are 2.5-point favorites. This is a Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. on the East Coast. 40.5's the total. These London games, as I always say to you, are very sloppy. The quality of play in these is usually not very good.
Yeah, I don't understand. I don't really like the 9:30 a.m. Games. It reminds me of living in L.A. The games start at 10, and you go to breakfast to watch the games. You have brunch, and you get hammered at the tiki bar down by the ocean. I don't like the early morning games.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to Game Time Decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night, I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Sunday Night Football, not really much of a matchup here. And the Bills looked so good up until this point. And, to me, it's probably like a one-off for them.
The basic thing you have to do against the Ravens, force them to pass and try to use their weapons downfield, get them behind. Because if you can do that, then it takes Derrick Henry a little bit out of the game. But if you get them with momentum coming out of the gate, getting a long touchdown run on the first play.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Yeah, Carver High, I still like the Vikings in this spot in London, to be honest with you. I think they've been pretty greased every week. They just light it up and score, and they don't seem to have a problem moving that offense and getting in the end zone. And, I mean, the Jets are having their problems. It's unbelievable to me what Denver did to them. They shut them down. I don't blame anything on the light drizzle. They act like it was pouring at that game. It was just light rain all day in New York last week. You would have thought that they were in North Carolina in the middle of the hurricane the way they played. Seriously.
I forget who I was talking to. I actually think it was worse. Oh, it was one of the fathers of one of the kids on Olivia's softball team at practice the other night. Told me he went to the game on Sunday, the Jet Bronco game, and he said it was actually the wettest, the most soaked he's ever been at a Jet game in his life. Now, I don't know how many Jet games he's ever been to, but he told me that it was worse being there than it was on TV. Now, I don't know if I heard Kofsky was there as well. I don't know if Kofsky has the same report or not, but he said that it was extremely wet there. It didn't look as bad. It was a lot worse than what it looked like. But Kofsky agrees. There you go. Kofsky agrees. Being at the game, it was worse. It was bad there, Scotty, at MetLife. Here's what I do know. These London games are nonsense. They're always nonsense. They're always sloppy. They're ugly. The teams are traveling across the world to go play in London. I like the under 40.5 for the Jets and the Vikings.
Because they're both going to play defense, huh? And Vikings D, and they're going to ratchet up the blitzes, and they're going to get it all going. And then your Jets defense going to do the same thing and give Minnesota problems. Are they going to cover the spread?
16-13, something like that. Vikings win. So 16-10, 16-13. Ugly game. I think it's not going to be pretty to watch.
All right. I went to that Jets-Steeler tie game in pouring rain, and it was freezing ice rain. It was freezing. It was ice capades at the game. That game at Jet Life, whatever you want to call it, Snoopy, that was candy ass compared to the game I went to in the freezing icicle rain and a tie game of 16s. Believe me, that was candy ass last week in New York. I went out in that all day. It was raining. I mean, man up. I mean, honestly, like everywhere I went, it was raining. I don't give a rat's ass.
Some people can't do that. Like Aaron Rodgers, they just can't do that.
Is that their excuse why they lost?
I don't know if that's their excuse. It sounded like most of the week they blamed all the offensive penalties, the snap penalties, the cadence, all the nonsense they talked about all week. Sounded like that was
that's your own
more
fault.
of why. That's their own fault. Precisely. That is their own fault. Before I move on, I do want to give you some news that just came across my desk because I was actually pretty surprised at it.
News.
The Mets just announced, because, of course, Game 1 starter tomorrow against the Phillies, Kodai Senga is going to come back, Scotty. So he has pitched once this entire season. If you remember, he missed the first, 4.5 months, came back, pitched one game, got hurt again with the calf, hasn't pitched since then. He's been rehabbing, and he will return to start Game 1 for the Mets in Philadelphia tomorrow night, and Severino will pitch Game 2 on Sunday. So that's how the Mets will line up against Wheeler and Christopher Sanchez on Sunday in Game 2 for the Phillies.
I mean, listen, the guy is clearly got some issues with his body. He's kind of a P. But, I mean, the guy goes out and the wind blows and he's got an injury, and he's never played. But I'll tell you this much. If he could just for once stand on that mound and throw that forkball, and if it's moving and it's falling off the table like a wet noodle, I am telling you what, it is hard to hit. That pitch is hard to hit. And guys see it coming out of his hand. It looks like a meatball, and then it just falls right to the ground, and guys miss it. And so the question for me is, can he stand out there for 5 or 6 innings? He's such a P. It's like unbelievable. This guy's such a saltwater taffy. Oh, my God. He's just so soft. Like, man up, bro. Honestly. I mean, his own teammates have to think he's a P. Honestly. I mean, let's get real here. Like, all the time, these guys, when they're not around him, I guarantee you that's what they're saying about him. I guarantee
Well, that lone start that he made, it was actually a lot further back than I thought. July 26th against the Braves was the only start he made this year.
Birthday.
Right before both of ours. Yes. So there you go with him. Now, Senga also, this was last year, pitched pretty well against the Phillies. Beat him 2-0 through 7 innings, 1 hit ball. Another timeout, did lose the second time, but he's pitched pretty well against the Phillies in his past. So Senga against Wheeler. Game number 1 in Philadelphia.
How many years now is it? Senga in the show? Are you telling me 2?
This is his second. This is. I mean, I don't know if you can count this as a year. He's pitched
once. It was his first year. That's how little he pitches.
This was supposed to be his second year. I don't know if you can count it as a second year considering he didn't pitch. So he pitched last year, though. He made it the whole year last year. Only 1 start this year, and his second start will come in a very big spot tomorrow night, of course. All right, so there you go. We got that in. All right, we'll do the rest of the NFL after you talk to this heavy hitter lineup you got coming up. I mean, it's me, Gino B, Coach Bowden, Dr. Zhivago. So after you get through all of them, we will get into Bills and the Texans, of course, the Stephon Diggs Bowl that we will have, Cowboys and Steelers on Sunday night. We have got the Giants going out to Seattle, Packers going to L.A. to face the Rams. We will go through all the rest of the NFL after you get through the heavy hitter club here.
Yeah, and remember, Gino is on a 2-week tear with his not only his horse picks, because he hit a race last week for us in one of those 4 races, and then he hit 2 weeks in a row the NFL bets. So he has doubled down this week. I see that it's me, Gino B, doubling down on the NFL Pain Day picks for this week. And it looks like he's got 4 horse races to throw down. And one of them, actually 2 of them, at Keeneland and 1 at Anita out in SoCaliCal.
Anyone that's been to a sporting event, the atmosphere before a game, I think Game Time Decisions has that same exact atmosphere. This is our arena. This is what we do. There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. The excitement you get when you lock your bets in, when you're figuring out what you want to do, we can zone in on the biggest games each night. I want this to be the place that people come to before the games start so they feel as ready as possible to lock in their cards. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions to get that new information, react to it, and be able to then bet accordingly. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.
Your gut says Miami is going to win, and you should take the over. Your gut also said your NFT selfies would only go up in value. They didn't. But your head is on SportsGrid and knows the QB is in concussion protocol. The backup has a 45 QBR against the zone coverage. The New York D has the most sacks in the league. So yeah, trust your head. It's smarter to be on SportsGrid.
Sunday Night Football, not really much of a matchup here. And the Bills looked so good up until this point. And, to me, it's probably like a one-off for them.
The basic thing you have to do against the Ravens, force them to pass and try to use their weapons downfield, get them behind. Because if you can do that, then it takes Derrick Henry a little bit out of the game. But if you get them with momentum coming out of the gate, getting a long touchdown run of the first play.
Newswire, only on SportsGrid.
Good to hook up with our buddy. It's me, Gino B, at the Daily Racing Form. Every Friday he comes on and goes off on the ponies, and he likes to sprinkle in some Pain Day love as well in the NFL. I told you earlier, he's on a 2-week glide with winners and hit the Eagles, hit the Colts. I was on the Colts as well against my Steelers, and they got it done. He had him on the money line. I had him with the spread. So this week and last week he hit a horse as well, which was Gandhi. He was on fire last weekend. So we always like to start with where you can find all the skinny from the Daily Racing Form as you head to the tracks.
Yeah, let's get the important stuff out of the way right off the bat. You want to go to shop.drf.com. That's where you can get all the past performances, all the clocker reports, everything that you need that's going to help you make your money. We have a special offer out there, drf.com/sportsgrid, and use the promo code SGTF24. You'll get a free card there for the Timeform US cards. Yeah, we had a good weekend last weekend, but the thing is, we know as gamblers, it's always, what have you done for me lately? So we got to get some winners out there for the folks this weekend. Where are we headed? All over the place, because it is a busy, busy Saturday of racing. Honestly, it's one of the busiest that you will see other than a Breeders' Cup or Kentucky Derby type day. So Saturday, let's start on the East Coast. Let's start over at Belmont at the Big A. One of the big races on the card there is for 2-year-olds, for horses that might be in the Kentucky Derby next year. The horse to beat is named Chancellor McPatrick, but he's not very fast out of the gate. He has some problems, a little slow, and he comes closing late. A horse who could sit a really nice trip is Uncaged, and we don't want to do that with you, Scotty. We know that. We cannot uncage the animal over there, because then you will go running wild. 4.5 to 1, 9 to 2 on Uncaged for our play over at Belmont at the Big A.
I love that. Uncaged at 9 to 2. All right. One of my favorite tracks I've been to many times, Keeneland. You got a pair of races.
Yeah, it's opening weekend. Today is opening day at Keeneland. Really amazing track, very prestigious. I've had the privilege of getting there a few times. We'll give you a couple prices in back-to-back races. Race number 7, the number 7 up here, Red Carpet Ready, who is 8 to 1 on the morning line. This horse was on the grass the last couple times, but gets back to the dirt and is facing a group that she's got a classier than. She's been facing tougher company in her dirt races. I think she's going to get a really good trip. third off the bench. Then we got one big bomb for you at Keeneland in race number 8, the number 1, Fluffy Socks. She's a stone-cold closer, but she just keeps running into fields where there's not a lot of early speed. This race on Saturday, it actually should set up for her. She's going to sit back. She'll be towards the way back, but she's going to be launching late and try to mow them all down.
20-1 Fluffy Socks styling at Keeneland. All right, let's go to Anita. You know I love that girl.
Oh, yeah, this is where we were partying last week at the California Crown. Race number 4 is a baby race.
I heard you were making out with Beyonce.
I was in the conga line. Oh, with Beyonce, with everybody. It was party time out there. Now, we'll go back there and make some money today, and we'll get the encore for the party. Kale's Angel is a horse who can sit off the pace a little bit in a race that's just packed and loaded with early speed. So we hope they line up on the front, and Kale's Angel sitting 5th or 6th early. Same thing. We want this horse to come and pass them all late.
This has got to be a sign because Mafia is the only person I know that eats kale. All right, let's go to your Dodgers and Padres because I know your mom is excited for your Dodgers. You had your pennant last week in your boyhood room. I know your whole family's rooting for the Dodgers at the Ravine tomorrow night against San Diego. It doesn't get any better than the Friar Faithful taking on the Dodgers at the Ravine.
I think 2 of the teams that had the best attendance in baseball this year, 2 really, really good baseball teams. They hate each other. It is going to be an absolute blast. My mom is pacing right now for tomorrow's game. She's walking back and forth. She can't even sit down. She's so anxious. She's texting me and calling me every few minutes. So she hates the Pods. Go Dodgers. I know we only got a minute left, Scotty, so I got 2 NFL plays for you this week. Both of them are a couple dogs. First one, we're going to go to the Browns. This is a team right now that a lot of people don't want to play, right? Watson hasn't looked great. I can understand that. But we're playing against the Commanders team that's gotten a little overvalued, and this is by far the best defense that the Commanders have had to play in a few weeks. So I think they'll be able to put a little pressure on Daniels and make him look human here. That'll be my first play. Second play will be the against the Chiefs. I think the Saints, coming off of that last week game where they gifted 2 touchdowns to the Falcons, the Chiefs are due for a little bit of regression too. So both of them, I'll play the points, and you sprinkle a little money line on both of those dogs, Scotty.
The Saints game is the Monday night game at Arrowhead, and you can follow Gino on X at It's Me, Gino B.
See you next week.
Right here with you on Pro Football Today on SportsGrid. Odds in motion, trying to see what lines have moved throughout the week.
Never felt more comfortable in the set than I do for this year. I am ready. I'm just getting angry. The hot takes are going to be here all long, people. What in the world is going on in Miami, Dom?
It's not particularly anything to shy away from just because many people are on top of it.
Hot take, hot take.
I think this line is asking you once again to take New Orleans.
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
The sharpest football contest show in the land, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show, focuses on Circus Sports Million, Circus Survivor, and the Westgate Super Contest, handicapping the games and releasing our contest picks every week of the season. With 2 former Super Contest winners, Brady Cannon and James Salinas, a former NFL player, Mike Pritchard, and over $1 million in contest prize money won combined, the Las Vegas Football Contest Show will have you prepared this season like none other.
There is going to be an energy to game time decisions that you will feel night in and night out. We're going to go through every single thing, and I've got a great team behind me that's going to help me get the job done. I want this to be the place that people come to. We are going to hit every single one of those markets that you need to know about. There is not going to be a better place, I promise you, than Game Time Decisions. We will have everything at our disposal, and we will use that to our advantage. I'm I'm Kevin Walsh. Tune into Game Time Decisions from 6 to 8 p.m. Eastern on SportsGrid.